What was the previous week for the world? Watching the following story.
Became a witness and 3 attacks and stay alive. 19-year-old American Mason Bell survived after the attacks at the Boston Marathon. He was in Paris in November when terrorist attacks and suffered during the bombings in Brussels. The father of the boy said, 3 years ago in Boston he and his son waited for his wife at the finish line, and then there was an explosion. The family didn't suffer. In November Mason was in Paris. Yesterday he was in Belgian airport with 2 friends when triggered explosive devices. Now Mason in hospital with wounds and burns. American president in Cuba, it first time after 88 years. Barack Obama called this visit historical.
This is a historic visit, and it's a historic opportunity to engage directly with the Cuban people and to forge new agreements and commercial deals, to build new ties between our two peoples, and for me to lay out my vision for a future that's brighter than our past.
On the first day of his visit, Obama was walking with his wife and daughter in the historical center of Havana, accompanied by the chief historian of the capital. The youth president and his family walked Plaza de Armas and visited the local museum. Despite the bad weather, President Obama welcomed by locals and tourists on the streets. Though in US-Cuban relations began in December 2014, then leader officially announced the start of the normalization of relations, which broke off in the early 60s, while Washington has imposed on Havana trade embargo. This was a response to the Cuban Revolution, which established the country's communist system. US reopened embassy in Havana in August last year, after Cuba resumed his work in Washington.
When President Obama was campaigning for the presidency, he often used the phrase, "Yes, we can."
Yes, we can.
Sí se puede.
Sí se puede.
Well, on U.S.-Cuban relations, like so many other issues he's tackled in his presidency, we can now say, yes, we did.
Yes, we did.
Besides meeting with Raul Castro, President Obama met with dissidents. Rocket Atlas V launched into open space from Cape Canaveral in USA. In addition, scientists will research new devices. With one of them, they will study the chemical composition of meteors. The second will help understand how their gravity fires occur. Rocket will arrive to the International Space Station on Saturday. In Japan presented the new equipment which helps employees of nuclear power plants of their activities in case of an accident. Project cost about $13 million. In the 70-meter wide monitors are sensors that show the pressure and temperature in the reactors. Besides that, they give opportunity to workers to check equipment operation just during accidents. It is impossible to analyze the state of the nuclear regulator and led to the accident at the Fukushima one in March 2011. Hundreds of Christians packed to St. Patrick Cathedral on Sunday to kick off Holy Week with the blessing of the palms and week before Easter. The Mass included a gospel account of Christ's trial before the Roman court and impending death at the cross. The greenery symbolized Jesus Christ's procession into Jerusalem for Passover, when the followers covered the road with a carpet of palms. Jesus was crucified on Good Friday and his resurrection of Easter Sunday in the central belief of Christianity. At the St. Peter's Square in the Vatican, Pope Francis kicked off Holy Week ceremonies there by blessing palm fronds and olive branches held by faithful followers.